Hello, welcome to Mass Effect 3 with Katrina Cat Shepard. We just finished up Mass Effect 2 with Katrina not very long ago, and now it's time to uh, move on with her story in Mass Effect 3. I'm going to do a New Game Plus here. I've already run Katrina through this once. Alright, there she is. We'll just leave that the way it is right now. Okay, let's talk about Katrina here. Well, when she started out in Mass Effect 1, when we first met her in the opening scene, she was one of the star soldiers in the Alliance. Top of her class at the Academy, hero, won the Star of Terror defending the colony of Elysium. Top of her class at the End School in Rio de Janeiro, got the N7 designation. She's always been a star pupil, one of the best soldiers in the entire Alliance. She's always been at the top of everything. And she's basically, life has been easy for her. She's super talented. She's always gotten her way. And it instilled in Kat a very naive view of how the world worked. For her, the world was black and white, heroic and non-heroic. And she always picked the heroic. She always tried to do the good thing and be a nice person. And she expected that of her crew as well. She grew up in the military, and she was a stickler for military discipline, rules and regulations. And so if any of her crew fell short of that, she was highly critical of them. So for instance, she met Ashley on Eden Prime, and when Ashley said she had lost contact with her unit, Kat upbraided her for just leaving her unit behind to die. She constantly rode Ashley. She rode Joker for not being totally 100% military. When it came to enemies, on the other hand, she was more magnanimous, was hoping to change their mind, persuade them that their way was wrong. So she had this rather romantic, naive view of the world and the way it worked, and high expectations of both herself and her crew. But at the end of Mass Effect 1, that all began to change. She saw that the Reapers were a real, honest threat to all organic life, that they were going to destroy all organic life, and nobody was doing anything about it, and she was determined to do something about it. So she stole the Normandy from the Alliance, which was obviously this huge break from regulations, but she saw it as necessary to stop the Reapers. Something that wasn't necessary, however, and something that could be seen as a fault in Shepard, was she, besides stealing the Normandy, she also broke regulations and entered into an affair with Kaidan Alenko. This was clearly against the rules of fraternization. In fact, back on Vermeer, before she even stole the Normandy, during the mission on Vermeer, there came a choice between saving Kaidan Alenko, who was caught on this AA tower, trapped on this AA tower, or going back and helping out Ashley, who was guarding the bomb. And the mission was about making sure that that bomb went off, destroyed that facility, and prevented Saren from creating a Krogan army. But even though the bomb was the point of the mission, so going back to save Ashley, help her out, would have seemed to have been the priority. Instead, she let her feelings get the better of her, and she went and saved Kaidan instead because of her feelings. And that's a real failure on her part. So already by the time we get to the end of Mass Effect 1, she's already failing to live up to the standards she had set. She violated regulations on fraternization. And in fact, the mission, well, it turned out all right, but the mission might have failed because of her failure to actually do what the mission required rather than what her heart and feelings required. She would have been court-martialed for stealing the Normandy, except she had just saved the Council, saved the Citadel, and according to her, had saved the galaxy from the Reapers. And so she was a hero, rather than court-martial her therefore, and look like total fools for court-martialing this hero even for stealing the Normandy when that's what it took in order to save the Council. What they did is they shipped her off into the Terminus systems to hunt for guests, basically get her out of their hair, since they couldn't very well court-martial her. And while she was out there, she was attacked by a ship. Later we found out it was a collector ship, and killed, of all things. But then Liara Tassoni, her friend that she had met back in Mass Effect 1, recovered her body. It actually had been recovered first by the Shadow Broker. He was going to hand it over to the collectors, but Liara got it, and she gave it to Cerberus, because Cerberus said they could bring Shepard back to life, which they did. And Cerberus, of course, was known as a terrorist organization. And yet they seemed willing to do something about the Reaper threat. And so Kat ended up working for Cerberus. So now she'd had an affair with Kaidan, violating regulations about fraternization. She'd stolen the Normandy. But now she was working for a terrorist organization. And even more than just working for a terrorist organization, she was now working with all kinds of shady people. She didn't have much choice in this. She couldn't draw on Alliance resources. All she had available were what Cerberus provided her. So she ended up working with very shady people, like a thief, an assassin, practically a war criminal in Morden, who infected the Krogan with the genophage, a vigilante, a mercenary, all kinds of rather shady folk there. She wasn't too happy about that. She didn't like the idea of having to work with these very shady people. And yet, in the end, she did develop some relationship with them. And when she finally got to the collector base, these people, many of them, gave their lives. These very, very shady people, like the thief, Kasumi, gave her life during that mission. Morden, the guy who had infected the Krogan with the genophage, gave his life during that mission. The assassin, Thane Krios, also gave his life during that mission, all to save human colonies from being abducted and to try to stop the Reapers and their plans. And so Kat's eyes were opened up a little bit there, that, you know, you don't have to be 100% down the line. Everything you do, heroic and goody two-shoes, that even non-heroic people or straight down the line good people can do good things. But perhaps the biggest thing that we have to understand about Kat is that she finished off Mass Effect 2 by killing 300,000 Batarians. It's one thing to steal an Alliance warship in order to stop the Reaper threat. Nobody died because she stole the Normandy. But when she got out to the Viper system on the edge of the galaxy, she found out that the Reapers were just 2 days away from arriving. Unless they destroyed that mass relay there, in 2 days, the Reapers could basically go anywhere in the galaxy and start their next harvest. By destroying that relay, however, she would buy everybody more time to get ready for the Reaper invasion. But the cost of delaying that Reaper invasion would be 300,000 Batarian lives. And she ended up choosing to go ahead and start that project and destroy that relay. Now, if anything was going to impact at Cat, that certainly was. That was definitely not a heroic action. Not by any stretch of the imagination. And in fact, Cat could probably be considered a war criminal for just snuffing out 300,000 lives just like that. And so when she got done with this, the Alliance wanted to bring her up on charges over this. Admiral Hackett wanted to run interference for her, but there was no way she was going to be able to just walk away from that scot-free, and I don't think she necessarily felt that she should walk away from that scot-free. So she has turned over her ship to the Alliance and turned herself into custody. Of course, it's the second ship that she's now stolen. She stole this ship. The last Normandy she stole from the Alliance. This one she stole from Cerberus. She didn't feel so bad about stealing from Cerberus. And she might be left to rot in the brig here, except Hackett, the commander of all Alliance fleets now, and Admiral Anderson, another high official now in the Alliance, both see Cat as one of their best soldiers, as perhaps their single best soldier, and they don't want her to just sit out the war against the Reapers in the brig. And so they've been able to keep Cat, while she's confined, keep her from being actually sentenced. So what has all this left Cat? Well, she's really come to realize that the world is not black and white, good and bad, heroic and non-heroic. That good people can do bad things, that bad people can do good things. That sometimes you have to do things that are not good in order to achieve an even larger good. And she's going to become more willing to, having seen these very shady people like the assassin, the thief, the war criminal, give their lives to save these human colonies, more willing to cut people slack, be easier on them. Now that's not going to happen right away. I mean, people don't change on a dime, and neither will Cat here. But I think what we're initially going to see from Cat is she's going to take that hard-ass, live up to standards, follow regs kind of thing, and then instantly regret it. So what will come out of her mouth is things like, shape up, mister, and then instantly, oh crap, I shouldn't have done that. So when we get through, maybe say halfway through the game, she will actually start really treating people with dignity and respect, and no longer instantly just snapping at them. And I think she's going to be less hung up on regulations as well. And she's going to be constantly seeking redemption because of what she did on Eritot, destroying that base. And she's going to want some affirmation that she's still actually a good person. And I think that's going to help lead into a romance with Samantha Trainer. That's who Kat is going to romance in this game, is Samantha Trainer. Somebody who really likes her and says she's a good person. Somebody who can make her feel better about herself. She's going to be seeking redemption here. And she's going to see some other people die, like Lieutenant Tarquin Victus. He's going to give up his life. Other people are going to die as well. And I think what she's going to say to herself, life is short, and I need some love in my life. And even if it breaks regulations, to hell with regulations. Let's not get so hung up on regulations. And so I was way back at the beginning of Mass Effect 2, I was thinking to myself, well, how can I get Katrina to again agree to romance somebody on the crew after it turned out fairly disastrously in Mass Effect 1? And I think that's the route we're going to use, is we're going to basically say, look, Kat is... she's looking for somebody who can make her feel better about herself, and she's not so hung up on the regulations anymore because of her experiences. And she is, she see how short life can be. Many people dying around her left and right, and that she needs to grab the moment while she has it. And final note about Kat here in our introduction. If you remember Kat back in Mass Effect 1 and 2, she had a ponytail. And that was kind of to symbolize her naivete, make her kind of look more naive. Here in Mass Effect 3, I've decided to let her hair down. I tried to come up with a look that was kind of frazzled looking, because that's our Kat now. She's kind of become rather frazzled and frayed around the edges. And she's also lost that naivete that she once had. So we're getting rid of the ponytail. We're letting her hair down, but I went with as frazzled a hairstyle as I could find that I could also live with. So that's the Kat's new look there. I also darkened up her eyebrows. They were too blonde before, where you couldn't even see them. So I darkened up her eyebrows. And Mass Effect 3 just makes Shepard look younger than Mass Effect 2. But other than that, I haven't changed anything besides her hair and her eyebrows. Everything else is a direct import. Now, for right now, I think I'm going to go with Reeve as my bonus power. I've been playing around with the idea of using a Reeve Sentinel. She was an Adept back in Mass Effect 2. She was a Vanguard back in Mass Effect 1. Here she's going to be a Sentinel. It's my favorite class in Mass Effect 3. And normally I go with armor-piercing ammo. But for now, I'm going to go with Reeve, because I just wanted to try out a Reeve Sentinel, as Reeve being one of the major powers that Shepard's going to use. So she's a Spacer War Hero Sentinel with Reeve right now. I may go back to armor piercing later, but for now we're just going to go with Reeve.
How bad is it?
Bad. We just lost contact with 2 of our deep space outposts. There's something massive on long-range scanners.
Is this what Shepard warned us about?
I'd stake my life on it.
How long do we have?
Not long. I sent word. The fleet's immobilizing.
God help us all.
Commander.
You're not supposed to call me that anymore, James.
Not supposed to salute you either. We gotta go. The Defense Committee wants to see you.
Sounds important. What's going on?
Couldn't say. Just told me they needed you. Now.
Anderson?
Admiral?
You look good, Shepard. Maybe a little soft around the edges. How you holding up since being relieved from duty?
It's not so bad once you get used to the hot food and soft beds.
We'll get it sorted out.
What's going on? Why is everyone in such a hurry?
Admiral Hackett's mobilizing the fleets. I'm guessing word's made it to Alliance Command. Something big's headed our way.
The Reapers?
We don't know. Not for certain.
What else could it be?
If I knew that.
I don't know how she got relieved of duty. She wasn't even working for the Alliance. She was working for Cerberus. And then she handed in her ship. She'd not been really with the Alliance for several months now. In fact, actually several years, because her relationship with the Alliance more or less ended when she died over 2 years ago.
You know we're not ready if it is them, not by a long shot.
Tell that to the Defense Committee.
Unless we're planning to talk the Reapers to death, the committee is a waste of time.
They're just scared. None of them have seen what you've seen. You faced down a Reaper. Hell, you spoke to one, then blew the damn thing up. You've seen how they harvest us, what they plan to do to us. You know more about this enemy than anyone.
That way they grounded me, took away my ship.
You know that's not true. When you blew up the Batarian relay, hundreds of thousands of Batarians died.
It was that or let the Reapers walk through our back door.
I know that, Shepard. And so does the committee. If it wasn't for that, you'd have been court-martialed and left to rot in the brig.
That and your good word.
Yeah, I trust you, Shepard. And so does the committee.
I'm just a soldier, Anderson. I'm no politician.
I don't need you to be either. I just need you to do whatever the hell it takes to help us stop the Reapers.
They're expecting you to, Admiral.
I don't know how they could court-martial
Good
her.
luck in there, Shepard.
She wasn't even in the Alliance. She was doing a favor for Hackett.
Anderson? Shepard.
Caden.
How'd it go in there, Major?
Okay, I think. Hard to know. I'm just waiting for orders now.
Major.
You hadn't heard?
No, I hadn't.
Sorry, Shepard. It's been... well...
She's still angry at him over Horizon.
It's not like you learned the Reapers were coming and didn't tell me.
Right.
Admiral.
Come on.
You know the commander?
I used to.
Admiral Anderson. Shepard.
What's the situation?
We were hoping you would tell us.
The reports coming in are unlike anything we've seen. Whole colonies have gone dark. We've lost contact with everything beyond the Soul Relay.
Whatever this is, it's incomprehensibly powerful.
You brought me here to confirm what you already know. The Reapers are here.
Then, how do we stop them?
Stop them. This isn't about strategy or tactics. This is about survival. The Reapers are more advanced than we are, more powerful, more intelligent. They don't fear us. And they'll never take pity on us.
But there must be some way.
Well, Shepard may be the best soldier, but she's certainly not qualified for flag rank, if that's her idea of waging a war. Nah, don't worry about strategy or tactics. This courtroom scene is so bad.
Each of us has to be willing to die to save humanity. Anything less, and they've already won.
That's it? That's our plan?
Yeah,
Admiral,
sorry about
we've
that.
lost contact with Lunabase.
The moon? It couldn't be that close already.
How'd they get past our defenses?
Sir, UK headquarters has a visual.
Why haven't we heard from Admiral Hackett?
He's busy.
What do we do?
Run!
The only thing we can. We fight or we die.
We should get to the Normandy.
Oh my god.
Move! Go, go, go!
I told you, run!
Shepard! 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 Come on, get up. Here, take this. We've got to get moving. This is Admiral Anderson. Report in, anyone. Major Alenko, is that you? What's your status? I can't raise the Normandy. You'll have to contact them. We'll meet you at the landing zone. Anderson out. They're massive. Come on, Shepard. Cadence headed to the Normandy. They'll pick us up if we can get to the spaceport. Let's move.
Well, that building was slated for demolition anyway. Alright, well that's enough for this episode. When we come back, Katrina will make it to the Normandy. Until then, have a nice day.